We all shop on sites like Amazon and Flipkart. It's just a part of life now. But have you ever stopped to think about who you're really buying from? It seems like a simple question, right? But the answer is actually pretty surprising, and it totally changes how you see these huge websites. Okay, let's get into it. So let's just start with a really basic question about something we probably all do without even thinking. Think about it. When you find that perfect phone or that book you've been wanting to read and you click Add to Cart and then Buy Now, who's the actual seller on the other end of that transaction? Is it Amazon? Is it Flipkart? Or is there someone else in the picture that we're not really noticing? To get to the bottom of that, we first need to get a handle on the two basic ways that anything is bought and sold. These are kind of like the fundamental building blocks for pretty much every purchase that happens anywhere. First up, you've got the business. We're just going to call this B for short. Now, this can be anyone really. It could be a massive company in a skyscraper or just one person in their garage selling things online. If they're making or selling stuff, they're a business. And then on the other side, you've got the customer, or, C. And that's you. That's me, the person who's actually buying the thing. Simple enough, right? We've got B and C. All right, so when a business sells something straight to a customer, that whole interaction has a name. We call it B2C. B2C, or business to customer, is the classic setup you see every single day. When you walk into a coffee shop and buy a latte, or go to a brand's website and buy a pair of shoes. That's B2C. So, for example, let's say you go to a local stationery shop just to buy one single pen. That's a perfect, classic B2C transaction. It's one business selling one item directly to you, the customer. But what happens when a business sells to another business? Well, that brings us to the second model, one that's happening all the time but is a little less obvious to most of us, and that's B2B. B2B simply stands for business to business. And this is a huge deal. It's basically the hidden engine that keeps our whole economy running. This is where companies sell the materials, the equipment, and the services that other companies need to even exist. Let's go back to our pen example for a sec. That little local shop you bought from, they didn't make those pens. Nope. They almost certainly bought like 1,000 of them in a giant box from a factory. So that transaction, the factory selling all those pens to the shop, that's a classic B2B deal. Okay, so we've got B2C, that's the direct sale to you, and we've got B2B, the sale between companies. Now that we've got those two ideas down, we can finally pull back the curtain and reveal the big secret of how sites like Amazon and Flipkart actually work. So let's circle all the way back to our original question. Is Amazon a B2C company just selling its own stuff directly to you? Or is it something totally different? And here's the answer that might surprise you. For the most part, it's neither. Amazon and Flipkart are, first and foremost, a marketplace. So what's a marketplace? Well, think of it like a gigantic online shopping mall. Amazon doesn't own all the stores inside, it just owns the mall itself. They provide the space, the website, the whole system, so that thousands of other businesses can come and set up their own little shops to sell to people like us. This table really breaks it down perfectly. You've got the platform. That's Amazon or Flipkart. They run the show. But the seller is very often a totally separate business using that platform. And the whole point is to connect that seller to you, the customer. Okay, so you might be thinking, this is interesting, but why does this actually matter to me when I'm just trying to buy something? Well, understanding that you're shopping in a massive marketplace and not just a single giant store actually gives you, the shopper, a huge advantage. See, because it's a marketplace, you're not just stuck with one option. You can often find the exact same product being sold by a bunch of different sellers, which means you can instantly compare prices and find the best deal. And even more important, you can look up reviews for that specific seller to see if they're legit and reliable. All of this competition and transparency just gives you way more choice and way more power. So next time you're on Amazon or Flipkart, don't just look at the product's star rating. Scroll down a little further and look for who the seller is and check their rating. You're not just buying from one giant company, you're actually navigating this huge competitive market. And knowing that, the real question is, how are you going to use that knowledge to be an even smarter shopper?